a nice French word. I don't know where you get it. Okay.
What does that mean?
What?
S'il vous plaît.
Please.
Please?
S'il vous plaît.
So last time we talked about the physical property of DNA, where specifically melting and hybridation. So melting temperature, capacity of DNA to be able to dimension single strain is really important for molecular biology, like the base of molecular biology. So because of that property, you can detect DNA by radioactive detection. You can use fluorescent DNA chips. What types of genes are expressed at different times in a cell population. You can identify specific DNA using PCR, that probably everybody knows here. You can use site-directed mutagenesis, meaning you can modify DNA sequence and put a mutation exactly where you want in a gene. You can also figure out evolutionary relationships, okay, so how conserved species be, and also, treat cancer using enzyme therapy with this capacity. So here is a couple of experiments. I'm going to go really fast with this. I'm sorry, I'm late. So if you have questions, make sure to come to office hour or after this. They're really simple techniques, okay? So for example, this one, if you have two species that have really close DNA, or you think they are really close, they may be related, you can denature the DNA and then mix them together and then pull back. So whatever is complementary will hybrid together. Okay? So you will figure out what type of genes may be conserved between two species. In order to detect these complexes, you can label one DNA with radioactivity compound, like 32 phosphate, for example, or whatever nitrogen base, like N15, and then you can detect this one. This is the technique they use for microarray. So on a little chip, this is done by robots and not by people, of course. They can specifically build this oligo here on different spots of genes. So if you want to recognize certain genes, or you want to look at all the genes, so you use repeats that are frequent in the genome, and you want to put them on this chip, so you will use activated light base of a nucleotide. So basically you put a mixture of A that are sensitive to light, and then you flash light on them, or hiding the one you don't want in A, and you will bind the A that way, just with the light, okay? And you can build like this, your different ATGT here and GTCC oligo, and then this, you will be able to lyse cell, put the RNA or the DNA onto this chip and figure out what can hybridize with this short sequence. So that's what you get at the end. You will get two chips actually separately. One will be with genes that are expressed, mRNA that are expressed during mitosis, and the other one, the green one, will be proteins that are expressed throughout the cell cycle. Okay, so the ones that are going up in expression or will appear in yellow versus green. Okay, so it's a really practical technique, and again, we can go back to it later. The PCR, I'm going to go super fast through it because we'll talk about that at the end also when I look at this genetic engineering thing. So I will go back to it too. So PCR basically is to try to amplify specific DNA in a tube. Okay? So basically, if you want to put a gene into a plasmid to then express that plasmid into bacteria and get protein, you will use this type of approach. Okay? So PCR needs basically a template, so you need a gene that you want to amplify. You need primers that are short nucleotide sequence that will recognize both strands of the DNA of the gene you want to look at. So let's see, you have a really long piece of DNA here. Your gene is right there. Okay, you want to amplify that region, you will choose primer that will be able to hybridize right there, right there, okay? And you polymerase with the oxygen strand after they open and amplify, okay? So you need also DNTP nucleotide to do this. And you need also a DNA polymerase, and you need this DNA polymerase to be thermostable, okay? So these polymerases usually come from bacteria that are thermostable, okay? So the way it works is, I'm going to show you the drawing. So first you're going to eat your strain of DNA at 95 degrees, 98 degrees, depending on the protocol you're choosing. So what happened at that time? They denature. Don't display. Use the right. Denature, okay? They denature, so they open. Okay, so you have denaturation. After denaturation, you will be cooling down your temperature to a temperature that is close to the melting temperature of your primer. You remember what melting temperature is? It's 50% bind, 50% unbind. Okay? So you want to be specific in your binding. So instead of shooting for 100% bind, you're going to go 50% bind in order to have the most specificity. Okay? We'll go back to that later, so don't freak out. Okay? Just remember that you have to pull up the DNA, the mixture, in order to have the primer binding to your DNA target. So you see them there, the yellow stuff, they bind to your gene of interest. Then your polymerase is going to start the job. Usually between 65 and 72 degrees Celsius. Okay? That's how they work. And they will start polymerizing the gene. On the first cycle, they will go over, okay? Because they don't have any stop there. Nobody tell them to stop, okay? So they will bind the primer and get your gene super far away. So you're gonna have this type of product. And you're gonna repeat this these steps from 1 to 3, 25 to 30 times. Okay? So what will happen, and I really push you to do that by yourself on your paper. You will understand the principle really easily that way. So what happens is that the next step, you denature, you put your primer all over, and then you will start to enrich for shorter version of the gene. See? Starting to get more than a. And so these here, at the end, will be the major product of the PCR. So your small gene, the one you want, will be enriched. You will also have these CCs here, but in a really lower quantity. So you won't even see them if you migrate to PCR on a gel. Okay? So do that home to make sure that you understand that principle. We'll go back to it later. You can use also this technique to do sequencing. So sequencing is, you know that, like they revolutionized molecular biology these past 15 years. I mean, this is a really powerful technique. It started with a guy called Sanger, who came up with this great experiment, which was to use DNTP that was able to carry the polymerization of the chain. Okay? So you use DNTP that we call DNTP, D-deoxyribo blah blah blah, who has no OH to create the phosphodiester agent. So they will just stop the string. Okay? So you use 4-2, which has a mix of ATGC with either DDATP, ATGC, DDCTP, ATGC, DDGTP, etc. Okay? So each tube has one terminator in them, but they also have all the other nucleotides. Okay? And you start running your reaction, so what happens is, if you have that sequence here, ATGC, blah, 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 you will have a different tube who has this blocker here, this is a CTP. So the blocker will stop the polymerization at each C, okay? But because you are in some kind of a ratio between the normal C and the stop C, it will happen at each C, okay? So you're gonna extend your chain this way, actually all the way to this C, and then you're gonna have this fragment. And then you will have this fragment. And then you will have this fragment. And then you can migrate them on the gel and just basically read the gel. This is ridiculous. I don't know what they do for this thing. But what you do to read the gel is you start on the shorter version, on the bottom, And you will read like this. So G, A, G, T, C, etc. Okay? So now we do all of these with fluorescence. So you just give it to somebody, and somebody will do a software, and you copy. You're done. I have to do that by hand. I get 55 Newton like that. You have gel, everything by hand in thermocycler. It was great. Radioactivity of the roof in the entire. My feet are fine, right? In the lab, it was just crazy. So now it's so easy. Frequently this. There's like 3 kb there, just do. And when we were doing it, we could look at like 20 days, 30 days at a time. Okay?
I don't know
So
how to
this is
put my
really
hours.
powerful. So this is just a slide to show you how you stop the polymerization. So just look at it here. Okay, you have an H instead of an OH. So this guy, he cannot do this. So he will branch himself on that nucleotide, and then he will stop. There will be no possibility of creating a phosphodiester. That's here. Yes.
So I just want to be sure
Like,
when
what
we're
is this?
sequencing it, the new strand that we get with the dideoxynucleotide, that is actually going to be complementary to the thing that we're because we have one that leads the like
Yes.
the base pair, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But usually when they give you the software, it's just easy.
Oh, it does support. Okay. Yeah.
We got lazy.
Yeah.
So this is really quick too. It's the exact same technique, except that now instead of using radioactive nucleotide stoppers, the DNTP, you use fluorescent one. And actually, and you don't even need to stop them anymore. You just use fluorescent DNTP, and every time you put one, it has a flash of fluorescence, and you can record it. So let's say the T has a yellow one, and then the A has a blue one. So you just take the image of it, and then you can recreate the sequence. Okay? And there's many like play on this with fluorescent and not fluorescent, everything. Okay? But the technique is pretty much the same. Okay? Alright, so this is something really important. You have to remember that DNTP base actually can have mutation, it can change, okay? And that will create mutation in the DNA. These things happen, alright? You can't control it, just that. Even in a healthy person, it happens, okay? It's due to environmental pressure, to, maybe health issues or stuff like that, but you can have all this type of chemical mutation. So you need to remember, I'm not asking you to remember how it goes from one to the other, but what kind of base pair you're going to have if you have tautomerization of running or something like that, okay? So here, for example, let's start with tautomerization. So tautomerization is basically a change in your structure of like uracil here. It can happen every day, okay? So this chemical thing happens, and so you go from there to there, okay? This is a balance. It happens all the time. It's more important when the pH goes down, so you're gonna have more of these when your pH is around 3 or 4, but at pH 7 you can still have fluctuation of the uracil between that lactam form to that double lactine form, okay? So in DNA, when that happens, you can have mutagenic mispairing, okay? So because the base change from this to this, the hydrogen bond that you can engage in will also change, okay? So that means instead of binding A, you may be able to bind something else, okay? So for DNA, it usually lands into mutagenic mispairing, and for RNA, it can also increase the diversity for enzyme or adapter binding. Okay, so sometimes it happens in RNA and you actually want that to happen because you may have this way some flexibility into protein binding with RNA. Okay, but it's really bad if it happens in DNA. Alright? So this, I don't know if you learn that by heart, okay? I can't do it either. I find it on Google. Just Google photomer and poof, it comes. So there it is. This is just to show you that there is many of that thing that can tautomerize, okay? So you can have adenosine tautomerization, guanosine, uridine, xanthosine, cytidine, oxycyanin, okay? So meaning that most of the time the one that tautomerizes is a uracil, but the other can do it, okay? So just keep in mind that this can happen and what kind of pairing you get from this. That's what I want you to remember, okay? So for example, if you have a mispairing, you can have here adenine pairing with C, okay? This is a rare immunoform of cytosine. You can go in there and define it if you want to, you don't have to. These guys need to be deprotonated in order to get into this, okay? But you see, instead of having AE, you get AC. And if it happens that way, it can also happen that way. So the C, which is normal, can pair with the rare immunoform of adenine. Again, it has to be protonated, okay? So all this stuff, I don't know. Just remember what type of pairing you can get, okay? So here you have the G with C, right there. So I show you here a normal pairing for HC and GC just to compare, okay? All right, so this tautomerization, what's going to happen in the DNA? And that I want also you to remember. Now that, what is the implication in your daughter cell after, okay? So you have a double strand here. This is a tautomeric shift, okay? So it was a normal A, and it turned into a rare immunoform of an A, okay? So when the replication happens, it's a semi-conservative model. We'll go back to that again in lecture 4. You have here no problem with that string, you have no mutation. So you copy, you got the parental DNA. Okay, same one. In this one, this A, instead of doing a nice pairing of a C, is that, so it does a pairing of a C. So you got a C right there. Not good. Right? So you have two daughter cells, one fine, one mutated. Okay? So that's how we transfer to the rest of the second generation. We call them the F2. Okay? So again, you open up this strand. This is where this is where the tautomer pair with the C here. So this strand here will lead back to the normal thing, but this one will lead to the CG. So instead of having HC here, like in this one, you got CG. So that's the transition mutation is called. And here you go back to the normal thing. Okay? So, and obviously this tautomer can go bad and come back normal. Okay, it can shift one another, right? We'll see in a terrible lecture, which I really across this one. It's lecture 5. Okay, it's really bad. I hate it too. Where I will try to make you understand how you repair this. Okay, so try to remember all these tautomer stuff when we get to lecture 5. Okay. All right. The other one that I wanted to talk about is deamination. So mostly it happens on cytosine. Okay, so here you got the reaction that leads from a normal cytosine to a urosome. Okay? Again, I don't ask you to remember all the chemical movement of this thing, just remember that it can happen like that. So if you have a LCGC pairing like this, and you got the animation of cytosine, you're going to land into a GU pairing. So you're wrong. Normally you should have GC or UA, but not GU. So this thing will lead to, again, the parental strain in the daughter cell and a focal mutation. That can be repaired as well. Okay, and we'll see that in the atrocious lecture. Okay. So this is all the deamination that can happen, and this is all the mismatch you can get. Okay? So you can get GU mismatch, usually you repair. You will understand that after lecture 5. Okay? So it just means that you remove the nucleobase from the nucleotide and put another one on it. Okay? It's called aphasic site, meaning they don't have base. GT mismatch, same type of repair. TC mismatch, you need a mutation for GT, so you will mutate the T towards the T, and GT mismatch again, mutation towards an AT. Okay? So after that, another modification can happen. It's called depurination. I know it's there. So we have tautomerization, deamination, depurination. I don't know who invented this word. But it's pretty straightforward. It means that you remove the purine. Depurination. That's not too hard. So So meaning that here you have a nucleotide, guanine, and you isolate it into two things, the nucleobase, guanine, and this after in residue. So it just means that it has a phosphate and a sugar, but no base, okay? And he's in the DNA like, hey, I don't have a neighbor. So it has to be repaired, okay? So what happened with aspirinate site, it's shown here. So like you have a DNA double strand here, you got different agents. Oh, I like that slide. Flop, you know. Okay, so oops, nobody wrong. So what happened after that, you can either have a random pair, I'm just gonna put like whatever base, or you can have, in the next round of replication, you can have this mismatch happen. So sometimes it goes well because it actually puts back the right base. The E is the repair enzyme that we will suffer through in electrophoresis. Okay, so yeah, I'm trying to prepare you for that. Okay, so then there is the environmental mutation. We have the chemical mutation that can happen completely randomly in the DNA to anybody. Like right now, for example, you're deaminating your cytosine like crazy. Just know it. But you're repairing it too. So you're not going to turn green by the end of the lecture. Don't worry. But you also have the effect of the environment. You know that. You know the sense bad. Not quite bad. Too much is bad. You have radiation. That's not good either. Right? Doesn't sound great. Okay? So all these things can lead to mutation in the DNA that can be repaired or not. Okay? Or repair at a cost. Alright? So the UV light, for example, will induce the dimerization of pyrimidines. So you get 2T, and instead of have van der Waals linking in between, they're gonna really linearly covalently bind to one another. So it completely disturbs the structure of DNA. And when the polymerase has to replicate this, it can't grab it, right? Because it doesn't have the space for that. So that can lead to cancer, usually skin cancer, but other cancer. All right, so ionizing radiation, like X-ray and gamma ray, cause ring opening and strand breaking. Okay, so that's a completely waste of your days. That's got to be wasted. It's gone. That's bad too. And they are really difficult to fix for the repair enzyme. So no ionization. You got to try to avoid it. The cell can repair some of this modification, but others will cause mutation. Okay? So accumulation of mutation is linked to aging. So obviously, even if you're really careful, you're still exposed to UV light, you're still exposed to X-ray, break your arm, whatever. So you will have some mutation happening. Okay? And aging also causes some of this mutation that doesn't do with environmental stuff. And the mutation, most of the time, won't do anything, but sometimes will lead to cancer. Okay? UV light and ionizing radiation are 10% of DNA damage by environmental agents. So it's pretty high. Okay? All right, so this is an example of what happens to your DNA when you stay toasting in the sun. So you basically form a dimer of primitives, right? So either that way or in diagonal like this. And in your helix, you see you form what they call a kink. Okay, so your helix change form. Another type of damage, again, by environment, is what we call oxidative damage, due to radical most of the time. Oh, this one is not missing there. Okay, so like this guanine can turn into a oxoguanine, and this oxoguanine will mismatch with an adenine. Okay, so instead the gene mutated that way will recognize adenine instead of recognizing. Yeah. It inhibits replication because it cannot be separated, and you see in lecture 4 it needs to be. And also, you know, structure of DNA is really important sometimes for protein binding or protein recognition more than the sequence by itself. It's just because it's exposed, right? So the protein sees something opening in the DNA, so no binding, right? So by modifying the structure, you have an implication on the local structure of the helix, but you can reverse it throughout the entire. We have done, hopefully we can see that in follow. Okay, so just remember that you can have this methylation of granidine, and also to finish up, way too late. Remember also that methylation can also be a good thing. It's not always bad, right? So for example, the DNA is always methylated really fast after it's replicated. Okay? So the parental DNA, the mother cell, always have methylated DNA. And then when it replicates, you have one methylated strand, one non-methylated strand, and then shortly after, both strands will be methylated. So this is really important for the repair mechanism to know which one of the strands is the one they should copy. Okay, because sometimes it doesn't know. So the methylated strand is the one that usually don't carry the mutation for the replication. Okay? Alright, now let's go to topology. So topology is pretty simple. You're gonna have to just sit down and go through the slide again because you need a little concentration to understand. So basically, DNA is usually monstrously big compared to the thing it's packed into. Okay? So this is a page. Look at how tiny this thing is. Look at that DNA around. You know, it's like when you try to take a small bag and shovel into like an entire, like the, how you call that? The sleeping bag, into the bag. That's the thing. So basically, you have a virus which is 0.2 micrometer long and 0.1 micrometer wide, and it has 55 micrometer of DNA. Put in there. Hard, huh? You can't break, you can't mess up, it's like the skein of wool. When it goes away, the cat play with it, you don't want this to happen. So you need to put it back into the right combination. Same thing for bacteria, I'm going fast. So this is 1.6 millimeter of DNA. Millimeter, you can see it with your eyes. And you have to fit in this, 0.5 micrometer in width and 300 micrometer in length. Human. So human is hard for the cells because they have different size. So you go from oocytes that are huge to sperm cells that are tiny. Go figure. So I have nothing in the male gender. It will be graded as fair, the women. We took a lot of abuse across the year. Okay, so the human, you have different cells, but you have to pack 1 meter of DNA into it. 1 meter. So if you deploy it, 2 meters. You believe this? 2 meters into something that you can't even see, except yours. So what do? You pack, and you need a bunch of mechanisms, and that comes with a lot of twist and turn and rest and whatever. So we're going to go through that. A chromosome, you all know what it is. It's formed out of 2 chromatids. The chromatide is that. Okay? This is another one. And they look the same. Okay? Humans have 46 chromosomes. Okay? So they have 23 pairs of homologous chromosomes. So be careful with that nomenclature. I got really mixed up with it too, is that the chromosome is also a chromatin by itself. So it got complicated, So they have 23 pairs of homologous chromatin, but you can also find it in textbooks saying 23 pairs of homologous chromosomes. So don't get messed up with that. Okay? Alright, so during the cell cycle, you double your genetic material, okay? So you have here 6 chromosomes, 6 chromatids, and you need to double them to have a chromosome that has 2 chromatin pairing, okay? And then you need to reseparate them again and form 2 daughter cells, okay? So your DNA goes from compact to compact, basically because you need to compact the crap out of it to be able to sort it the same amount in both daughter cells, right? But you also need it to be open in order to be able to bind protein and also to express genes, okay? So it has to go from this compact way to this incompact. That's why you have few chromatin and heterochromatin, okay? So that's what I just said. So during replication, you need to compact. During transcription and translation, all these things need to be kind of less compact. We go back to this later. So also you need to remember that in bacteria, gene, chromosome or cell gene, there's a collinear relationship between the DNA and the protein. That means you don't have many introns. Did you hear about that word before, intron and exon? Okay, so bacteria, they do have some sometimes, but really few. So it's pretty direct. You have a gene here, it will turn into protein. The exact sequence of that gene will have an exact sequence of protein, okay? For eukaryotes, it's much more complicated. You have few part of the gene that are actually coding. So the blue here is what's coding. The gray here is what's not coding. So when you have no collinear relationship, because you take your DNA, you make copies of genes to make an mRNA, okay? The mRNA come out that way, but then you have to shove it off and stuck it back together, get a way shorter RNA to get the protein, okay? That happens really often. So we don't really know why always, but often is to add variability to your protein, like if you look at antibodies or stuff like that, that type of mechanism give you like different type of splicing will help, yes.
What happens to the introns after they're
They
spliced?
degrade. Oh,
And normally does the mutation happen in introns or exons?
it can happen in both. Good for you, it happen in introns, right? So, okay, this is another example with hemoglobin. So, but at the end, what happens is like only 1.5% of your 2 meter of DNA code for something. All the rest is not good. What a waste. So you see, when you mutate, actually you have more chance to land into something that's okay than to land into something that's not okay. Okay? So, so the exons are express sequence, the intron are unexpressed sequence. You have 1.5% of the total genome that except for protein. So now, what is all this garbage around it? Where does that come from? So some we know, some we don't. So some can be DNA regions that participate in regulation. Some will be important to bind histone. We'll see that later. Okay? So there's a lot of sequences that have an effect on structure that need to be there to help out the compaction, but they don't need to be there to code for something. Okay? There is DNA that encodes for small regulatory RNA, which are not really understood, you know, some people don't really know why they're there. So they can jump up like the reading of the gene by just binding on the DNA, or stuff like that. And also, there's junk. I like it. Just junk, which are scars of viral infection. So we're full of junk coming from viruses. Go viruses. Okay. So basically, what we're looking at now in the 20 minutes that I have left, it's how you go from this to this and put inside this. So because you've got 46 of the stuff to put into the nucleus. Okay? So you need packing and you need access. Like I said, this balance between I need to compact everything, but I still need to be able to read it when I need to read it. Okay? All right. So, wow. Okay. So that's where topology came up. So if you look at DNA, circular DNA, like plasmid in electron microscopy, you can find it that way, or any kind of whole thing like that, twisting and okay. So that's the way they call that supercoating. Okay, because you can make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4. Okay, so just keep in mind in this black stuff there, it's a double strand DNA. Okay, keep that in mind. Okay. So here, when you cross right there, you have 4 strands. Is that clear? It's a double strand there. Okay. I wanted to come with a huge pack of strings to play with it, but I thought we won't have time. But you can play home with this. So make a plasmid, is cool, and twist it together, cut one strand, see what happens. So, how do we explain DNA topology? So So basically, if you consider this piece of DNA which has 8 turn of helix, let's say it's a B form, Watson-Crick helix, so there's 10.5 residue per turn, okay? Meaning that you have 8 helix turn by 10.5 base turn, this is 84 base pair, okay? So when you have 84 base pair and 8 helical turn, that means your DNA is relaxed, okay? That is following the Watson-Crick model. Okay, now you decide to strain it. So instead of 10.5 base pair, you're going to put 12 base pair per helix turn. Okay? You still have 84 base pair in there. Okay? So, in order to compensate for that loss of a turn, you're going to have that happen. It's going to pull. Try yourself with a wool, okay? Or elastic. So I try myself, it works. So he makes this, or he open a region in the DNA, which is compensated, okay? Either the supercoil or the strand separation. That's also really important sometimes for opening a bubble in order to polymerize to get it, okay? Couple of things important in that. All right, so now there's several numbers you need to remember. One is called the linking number. So linking number is the number of times one strand of DNA go over the other one. Okay? So here, you get one strain of DNA, another strain of DNA, so one molecule, okay? And they go one over the other. This is LK equals 1. Linking number 1, okay? And now, obviously, it doesn't happen that way, okay? That plasmid is 2 strands of DNA making an helix. So you have much more linking numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 linking. Okay, so 6 times the DNA go over the other strand of DNA. One strand go over the other. Okay, so this linking number is a property of this double-stranded DNA, not the single-stranded RNA. Or single-stranded DNA. Double-stranded DNA only, okay? It's stable if the DNA is intact. So either it's a circle with no link in any of the strands, okay? It's never going to change. If you open up, you have all the twisted like that, okay? If you open up the 2 strands, you're going to have a reaction at the bottom of the plasmid by supercoiling or reopening another hole, okay? Compensate for this. Try the elastic, really, try. It works too. And it's FP is always an integer for circular DNA, okay? Now with non-circular DNA, which mostly is eukaryotic DNA, it's so long that, it behaves pretty much the same way, okay? All right, so here's some exercise that we may ask you. We will ask you. So here you have a plasmid. It's 2100 base pair long. Okay, it's circular, it's closed. You have an LK number, which is the number of base pairs divided by the base per turn. You consider a Watson-Crick helix, the B form, is 10.5 residue per turn, okay? So you got 2100 divided by 10.5, you got 200. 200 linking number. 200 times this DNA goes around the other strand, okay? See, if you cut one of the strands, you get the double strand DNA, you cut this. You're gonna have an undefined LK, okay? And if you do the elastic stuff, you will see it. When you cut, you don't know how these things gonna unravel. Okay, with one string is gonna go, relax basically and detach from it. So then you have, if you open up a hole and you underwound 2 turns of DNA, so that means you do a negative opening, so you underwound it instead of overwound it. So you remove 2 turns, you're going to have a delta linking number, which is the linking number, minus the relaxed linking number, so 198 minus 200. You remove 2 turns. This is minus 2. This is a specific linking difference between this one and this one. And you can also express a supercoiling density or helical density or super helical density. It's always sigma though. Name, but it's always sigma. And that's the delta linking number divided by L0, minus 0.001. Okay? If this is negative, it's a negative supercoiling. If it's positive, it's a positive supercoiling. Okay? Negative underwinding, I put it there, positive over 1, okay? So, if you have this 200 thing here, if you have a delta LK, remember, it's plus 2, that means your super helical density is positive, your DNA is over 1, and you have positive superquality. And LK is then 202, so that means you create 2 more in it, okay? If you have the other way, -2, this will be negative, it's under 1 DNA, and it's a negative superquality. Remember that mostly DNA likes negative superquality. Alright, that's another exercise to show you that the linking number never changes. It compensates. Okay, so linking number can be expressed with 2 other parameters. One is called twisting, and the other one is called rising. I think you know that one. W-R-I-S-H-I-N-G. Rising. Language sometimes. I mean, if I was saying it in French, I would say easy, which you wouldn't understand. Okay. But so here, for example, you have a HK0. This is only fictive, okay? This is just an example. You have this LK equals twisting plus rising. You add or you subtract rising to compensate for a twist. So this way, your linking numbers stay the same. Does that make sense? So if you have a LK of -3, your twist can be -3 and your rise can be 0. You can have that with the one strand of DNA going over the other one 3 times. Okay? Now you can also have a twist of -2 and a rise of -1. So you do 1 negative superquality and you lose 1 twist. Or you can have -1 for the twist, -2 for the rest, like this, or a twist of 0 and a rise of 3. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. Ooh. Don't worry, it's coming back.
I'm not even paying attention. Whatever. I'm not even paying attention.
Yeah, I'm so lost.
Yeah,
This is gonna be hard. The final exam is gonna be hard. And like I can't understand her.
she like mumbles, like it doesn't really go.
I thought it was an accent, but she like. You guys know.
Pampered.
Alright, so the research on DNA linking number LK will be anchored.
On that side.
That we would ask if it happen by which of the following? DNA superquality in the opposite direction than expected, single strand break in the DNA, a change in DNA from superquality to relax, a change in rest or twist of the DNA, or topoisomerase activity. So any of these ones will not let you calculate a linking number. Does that make sense?
I think it's D. Is it D?
It's not B.
D.
Is it B?
D.
David, you're the one.
I think it's D. B?
They are.
I think it's D. Why is it B? I don't know. I'm going with D.
What is it? Yeah. Oh yeah. He's going B. He's going B.
Because when you change, like,
B.
yeah.
Oh yeah. We're terrible. We're trying to pass.
What happened? Did we research it?
I put B. Wait. Your eyes good.
Maybe it is. I think it's B.
A lot of people put B. Yeah, a little extra. Never hurts. I know, I just like. Does she do the same thing? Take the top 10 and.
You're so sorry.
That's what I'm saying. We should always say what Puya's like. Yeah.
be necessary to this section.
Hey, Puya, what you say? Oh, me too.
Nobody knew what that was.
You don't need the true answer, don't freak out. You didn't see anything about this guy first, so you can't answer it, but I just put it because it's also right, and then you don't want to okay, calm down. Alright, mostly because think of brain in the DNA. If you have a brain in the DNA, you cannot come up with any number for the like linking number. Okay? Good.
It's gonna be a hard test. I still don't get it.
So she said that it has to be like intact for the DNA to doesn't change. So if DNA breaks, then yeah, you have to research this to know what happened.
11th line, I'm sorry that I really need to go through that. Alright, so if you have to leave, just leave, okay. So you go from relaxed to supercoiled, and you can actually see that in gel. So if you have a supercoiled DNA, it will migrate faster in a gel than a relaxed DNA because it's more compact, okay? So it can go through the mesh faster. All of the different forms are called topoisomers because they're the same except that they structure, okay? So during replication or transcription, this is going to be really important to follow. So because the polymerase has to open the hole to replicate the DNA, okay, or to make RNA, you're going to have a reaction in the front and in the back of this polymerase. So basically the twist in front of it, the twist will go down and the wrist will go up. Because the wrist is obviously, it's a number one DNA, okay? In the back is the other way. So you got an underlined DNA. And you see you always compensate for the same linking number, okay? Good. Another one. Okay, we do it next time, because I don't want that.
What's that?
I asked next time at the beginning, okay?
Maybe it's 8.
I think she needs to order.
I remember it's like a link or something like that.
Okay.
It said like a link. I have it on video.
Controlled also by enzyme. And these enzymes are really important. They go topoisomerase
Can't play me.
or anything or stuff like that. Okay? So the topoisomerase are enzymes that change the linking number. There's two major types of tips. Type 1, which will cut one strand of DNA. So they change the linking number by step of 1. So you see, in order to change the linking number, the only way is to cut the DNA, okay? And we seal it afterward. If not, you have no linking number. The topo2 make 2 break in the DNA, so they relax 2 steps, okay? So meaning that you can see here all the steps, like in this DNA was topoisomerase 1, and you see every foil that go from the relaxed to super foil. Okay? So they really are leaving one step of foiling every single time. Okay? So that's how they work. I won't have time to do everything, but they cut one strand of DNA. So they use pyrazine as active amino acid in order to do this. And they take an open conformation where they will cut the DNA and then take this one and pass it over the other one, changing the linking number, and then religate it. Does that make sense? So here is how it works. So this is the active site in the pyrazine. This O here does a nucleophile attack on that phosphate, which cleaves actually the DNA here. So you got this piece and this piece. The enzyme keep everything together, right? Because if you don't have the enzyme, everything goes away. So after that, that's the open combination. This thing will flip over, pass the DNA over that, and then you're going to have ligation, which is basically the opposite reaction. Does that make sense? So topo2, it's the same thing, except they use both strands. It's a double, like this. So one, you have 2 gates. You know, it's made of 2 planes like that. You have one gate that holds the DNA here, and another gate that will take the DNA over like this. This is type 2 alpha topoisomerase. So then you will cut here the DNA and hold it together and then pass that strain over the other one to separate both of them. So that can happen, at the end of the replication of plasmid. They're going to be attached to one another like that. You need TOPO2 to detach them, okay, and that they can go in your daughter cell. Right, I think I'm done.